Hi, another video on some eBay tech. It's a timer chip, timer module. It's a C005 little cob chip, nice and small. There's nothing on the back. There's the four main contacts here, which is positive, negative, signal, and the timer start. You set the timer by the duration of the timer by fitting a resistor to these pins here. Depending on the value of the resistor sets the times. The lowest it appears to go down to is 1.5 seconds. I've tried putting a lower value resistor on, and below 3k nothing appears to change. It's 1.5 seconds. When you get to 3k on the resistor, then it starts to increase the timer. The timer is also set by, you can fit a switch to it, two switches to it, to enable a multiplier. So if you set it, say, to 5 seconds, you can enable the first multiplier, which takes it to 8 times, so it gives you 40 seconds. If you enable the second one, it multiplies it by 64. And if you enable them both, it multiplies it by 512. So if it's originally set with no switches turned on to 5 seconds, and you go to the largest value, both switches on, multiplies it by 512, which gives you 2,560 seconds, whatever that is in hours. I haven't bothered to work it out. The chips are very cheap. I think I got 10 off eBay for I think it was $1 or £1, depends where you buy them from. But I'm in the UK, but I often go to eBay America and eBay Canada to get a better price. Here's one which I've soldered some connections on, fitted a small little switch so I can switch both of the multipliers on. That's got a, I think, 512k pot in at the moment, or half a meg pot. I can't remember which one's in at the moment. I've tried quite a few, and I've just set it up on a breadboard for testing. If you start adjusting the value of this pot in the K range, you can't connect a multimeter to the pot to watch the adjustments, because the resistance in the multimeter alters the figure. So even though you've, say, increased the timer by altering the resistance watching a multimeter, and you think that you probably increased it, say, to 60 seconds, with the multimeter connected and you start it running, you'll probably find out you only get 20 seconds. And this caught me out at first, and I was thinking, this just doesn't make sense. But in the end I found out you've got to pull the pot out, set it, and then stick it back in and run the test. So we'll connect the battery up. At the moment it's just in its standard settings. Let me get this the right way around, that's it. Right, so that's the little cob chip. I'm just sending the output to a MOSFET, turning on the LED. It's when you start the timer, so I'll just press that. Right, I can't remember what it's set for. I think it's set for 5 seconds. No, I think that's 3 seconds. Once the timer's run, it doesn't restart. It will not restart unless you unplug the power or press the switch again. So as you can see, it's running for 3 seconds and then triggering. if you alter obviously the resistance or switch in a multiplier, here's a little clock. Drop that down there. Yeah, let's drop that there. Here we go. Right, so let's see how long it's set for at the moment. Press 3 seconds. It's set for 3 seconds. So if I flick the first multiplier in, which I do believe is that one, that's it. It'll multiply it by 8. So we're going to get wherever it is. So we'll see. And it's fairly accurate, where, you know, the multiplier, if it's set for 3 seconds and you set the multiplier going, you know, it's set for 8 times, it does work out fairly accurate. But there we go. Can't remember when I started. I started it at 30 seconds. That's it, I pressed it. Right, so without the multiplier it's 3 seconds, and we'll see. So 24 seconds it should be. And as the multipliers will go 8, 32 and 512 times. So it'll go from 1.5 seconds to over 1,000 hours. Apparently, you know, if you multiply it out, I did multiply it out, and it goes to something like 1,005 hours. Basically that's it. You know, you fit the little switch if you need to, fit the resistor, and then you know, find out what value resistor you need to fit to get the time that you want. It does actually vary, the timer, by what voltage you apply to it. I think it runs from 3 volts to 5 volts, but definitely goes to 5 volts. I'm not sure what the lowest voltage it goes down to, but I was running it on a LiPo battery at 4 volts, and then when I went to 5 volts without changing the resistor, the value of the resistor, it lowered the timing by about I think it was about 3%. So if you've got it connected to something, you know, like a battery, say a LiPo, which starts off at 4.2, by the time it gets down to 3.3 volts, the timer's adjusted. You know, it's gone way off what you originally it was set for. And obviously the longer the timer, the further it will go out. But altering the resistor and working out the value of the resistor in relationship to time, it is very linear. So it's roughly about a quarter of the K. So if you fit a 24K resistor, you wind up with roughly 6 seconds. And obviously if you add a 40K resistor, you'll wind up with 10 seconds of time. And once you've got them worked out, it is very linear all the way down, as long as the voltage stays the same. So there's nothing really to connect, and it's a very small, handy little timer. The reason I've sent for it is I want to control, I want to use it with one of the radar modules, the RCWL 9196 that I did a review on. Well, that's about it. I'll add some pictures and some information concerning what I found out about this module through testing it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot.